Well, hello, my lovely soul friends. It's Victoria again. I feel like I'm doing more videos. And remember, I kind of just show up when I feel called. Also, I'm trying to honor my soul call to follow the lunation cycle, the new moon, the full moon. And anyway, I'm here and I hope that you join me. And I hope that whatever I share in this video or any of my videos, it's not a hope, it's a deep soul intention. It's different. It's deeper. It's rooted in my purpose. And that is that I hope that my soul reaches through the YouTube ethers, algorithm, all those things, and kind of tickles your curiosity. And you come on over and you say, what is this soul nurturer about? What does she have for me? And may I have something that inspires you, calls you back to your soul potential, your soul purpose, your transformational journey that is all about reclaiming who you came in here to be. Okay, welcome to the Soul Nurturer channel. If this is your first time, oops, I just kicked my, wow, maybe what does that symbolize? We do have a lot of wobbly energy, but welcome to the Soul Nurturer channel. I invite you to consider subscribing, liking, and commenting as much as you'd like. But I want to talk about the full moon before I get too far in commercial. Full moon in Gemini happening on November 27th. And it is happening at, let me get the exact time. I'm trying to slow down. You know, I always say to slow down. I feel like I have so much to share and I want to get it all out quickly, right? So I'm going to try to slow down, enunciate my words. I was talking with somebody who commented they are also a projector. We tend to just stream information. We miss words. We forget key phrases that connect what we're trying to say. So slowing down will help. My goodness, where did it go? I had it right at the front and it is now not there. Where did it go? Okay, 1:16 a.m. Pacific time. Some of you like to know the exact time. Adjust accordingly wherever you are, of course. Hey, go to Aunt Google. Google, what time is the full moon happening near me? Okay, so full moons. Are you feeling it yet? I know that I am. I usually can feel it 3 days out. It is said that we have 3 days before and 3 days after to work with the energy that the full moon brings. This full moon in Gemini, the full moons are culmination points. They have a tendency. I don't like to say exact, and I try. If you watch me, I try not to say this is what's happening. It is fated. No, here we have some possibilities. You have free will. God created you with free will. This is like the weather. This is astrological weather. Here are some possibilities, and I love to share the possibilities. The possibilities call us to areas in our life, especially when you're looking at your natal chart. What house is lit up by this full moon in Gemini? Areas in our life that need a little more focus, attention. The full moon tends to illuminate, reveals what needs to be healed, kind of stirs up our emotional content, our subconscious material, so we can see where we're out of alignment with our soul mission, our calls, our path, our potential, where we're not being our true authentic. I was trying to say awesome and authentic at the same time. Is there a word there? Well, instead of authentic, never mind. There's something there. Okay, right now, this is, I try to do the full moon videos or new moon videos 3 days in advance, but I think we're 2.5 or 1.5 days out because it's 1 in the morning. I'm feeling it. Empaths can feel what's coming before it comes, right? Sagittarius season, which I did a video on already, immediately felt more playful, more like, okay, I got some jokes to tell. I've got some stories. I've got some adventures, want to get outside. This is all Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius and Gemini are good playmates, but remember, a full moon is an opposition, 180 degrees apart from each other. But Sagittarius and Gemini are very similar to me. They're both teachers. They both love learning, perennial students, but they, as much as they're alike, they're also very different. So first we talk about the energy that we're kind of swimming in, that we get to borrow, feel into. If you are a moon in Gemini, having your lunar return on a full moon, I would love for you to comment about what you feel moon in Gemini is like for you. I'm going to talk in generalizations about Sag and Gemini since it's a full moon. Um, you know, like I was saying, I do have a video on Sagittarius season, but I'll just touch on that a little bit. A Sagittarius season offers us a time, space to shift our perspective, to look at a higher vision, a higher calling, to shift our philosophy, and to get really honest and real about what we feel about things. It's about speaking our truth. And with Gemini, the moon in Gemini, remember, moon is our emotions, subconscious. It's how we emotionally connect to ourselves and others. And in Gemini, it gives us this, Sagittarius is the higher possibilities. If you know NLP, there's a technique called chunking. Chunking up is the higher vision. Chunking down is the small details, and that is more Gemini. So this is really a time, an opportunity at this time, and again, especially where this falls and lands in your natal chart. But it's an opportunity, a culmination point is what I was starting to say. Let me finish that thought. The lunation cycle, we set intentions with a new moon, right? So two weeks ago, we set some of us who do this. It's like a new moon is like, a fresh opportunity, blank page, opportunities, right? To set intentions, get clear, drop in, get honest, get real, especially in Sagittarius season. What's working? What's not? Where are you holding back? Where are you not expressing? This is all Gemini. But the long-term culmination is 6 months ago when the new moon was in Gemini. So if you are journalers out there and you journal, go look at, I don't remember the date, Google when was the Gemini new moon in 2023. I can do that for you. Let me do this. I'll just pause instead of just launching on to the next thing. Let's get this here. If I can get my cursor here. Let me find out for you, okay? When was the new moon? I love anti-Google in Gemini in 2023. Can you believe we are nearing the end of 2023? Is it just me, or is this year just like a whirlwind? Just whew. So the new moon occurred on June 17th, 9:37 p.m. Pacific time, or Sunday, June 18th at 12:37 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, so go back to what was going on at that time for you. Gemini season, it was when the new moon was. What new ideas were circling around you? Where were you being called to express yourself? Were you getting your flirt on? Were you thinking, gosh, I'm really ready for a relationship? Have you culminated to a relationship? Are you in a relationship? Or do you need this full moon to show you where you're off track with pursuing your heart's desires? Okay, so I'm going to go back to my screen where the chart is. I'm going to tell you where the planets are. We've had some shifts, so we have this is not my strength, my soul friends. Hopping around on different pages looking for information. But I'm gonna weave everything in that is happening. We are weaving in information. Look at this. Okay, everything happens to show you something. Not everything, but most things. And you can, if you're playing a higher game of evolving, emerging, healing, learning, growing, and this is really highlighted during this full moon, learning and growing and expanding, being curious, being playful, getting unstuck from places from people and places and situations that feel limiting to you, that prevent you from really speaking your truth, being your playful soul essence. This is a time to do that. So here I'm like looking through all my files and windows open. I always say this to my clients and friends who are either a sun Gemini, moon Gemini, or Gemini rising. Gemini, the glyph for Gemini is, Mercury with the little antennas up, right? You want to, this full moon might be like overloading you with so much information. That's kind of what I'm demonstrating right now, overloaded with information, because I've got 7 files open. So I share this little technique that I came up with. Think of your computer mind. When you're overwhelmed, and you may feel this in the full moon here, overwhelmed, shifting from all the details you need to handle and all the vision you're holding that you feel like you're so far away from and you don't know how you're going to get there, and it can feel like, right? Gemini moon can feel really, because it's just so overstimulated. So I invite you at the end of the night to close the files of your mind, all the things you're thinking about that are overwhelming you and just like frazzling you is the word. You can do a mind dump. Get your journal out, or get some paper out, and just like, here are all the things that are concerning me. Here are all of my to-do lists. Get it out, right? And if you want to take it to the next step, we do have Mercury in Sag square Neptune in Pisces. Put it in a God box, a creator box, a universe box, whatever you want to call it. But it's like you're surrendering it to that higher power. I love the saying, though, God's going to be up all night. Might as well give God all your problems. Put it in the God box. Empty your mind, let it go, and then shut down all those files so you can rest and restore and have a clear perspective in approaching that. Now, there was another thing I was talking about, and I went off on the side tangent. Remember, I have Venus and Mars in Sag, and my sun is in the 9th house. So I'm very much an explorer when I'm communicating. I explore different areas and thoughts, but I always come back around. So the culmination, we can look back to 2 weeks ago in the new moon in Sagittarius. What did you set intention for this lunation cycle? Or go back 6 months when the new moon was in Gemini, and 6 months later, now the moon is full in Gemini. So this is a really good tracking of 6 months. What have you cultivated? What has come to fruition? What is being shown to you that you're still not accomplishing or manifesting or achieving what you desire because there's some things you haven't taken care of. You're stuck in some old patterns, and some of the old patterns, let me cover where the planets are right now, and then I'm going to talk about some of the patterns we may be connected to or stuck in. So Sun is in Sagittarius, Moon in Gemini, Mercury is in Sag, Venus is in Libra, and that has been, we're moving through a Venus Chiron opposition. It was over Thanksgiving, so, and it's still there. It's still close enough orb that our wounds of how we love and who we love, or how we are loved or not loved, may be surfacing a little bit. Might be revealing some codependent tendencies. So those patterns are up. How we love, who we love, or how we love and how we receive love, or where we're blocked from not receiving love and the way we desire. That's key. Okay, so then we've got Mars is newly arrived in Sagittarius. It just went in on the 23rd, I think, or 24th, really close here. And we have Saturn direct in, Jupiter's in Taurus, and Saturn is now direct in Pisces. Okay, so I just wanted these are the players of our astrological weather, or the astrological story that, this is cool. This is how it goes, folks. I just if I'm going, I also start to get different ideas, and I'm constantly like, that, no, yes, no. If it comes twice, I'll think about it 3 times. I'm going for it. So you know how mythology, we study mythology, all the stories of Zeus and all the characters. This is how our ancient ancestors made sense of their human experience by creating mythologies that mirrored what was happening for them. And it's the same thing with astrology. We are creating story, symbolic awareness, this is all symbology, folks. It's not literal. I get that a lot when people say, oh, astrology is not science. I go, yeah, I know it's not science, but it is soulless. It is connected to the soul. You cannot deny the corresponding accuracy, the symbolism that holds our hearts open with awareness that leads our souls. I always say, would you really think Creator would send us here without some support and guidance? This is, to me, astrology, a natal chart is this symbolic roadmap of who Creator created you to be, what you may be experiencing, where you may be blocked, what possibilities, like this astrological weather, it's like, is cultivating, helping us bring forward more of who we are. It's all purposeful. And I do believe, what's that quote from Einstein? The great question is, do you believe that the universe is friendly? For me, I do. I believe that God is loving and the universe is friendly, and that this is all a design for our higher evolving opportunities, not to hurt us or hinder us, but to cultivate our greatest and highest possibilities. So, okay, now, so these mythological, this astrology, these placeholders for ways of being kind of connect to us, who we are, and call us to to do things in a way more aligned with our soul. And I make this distinction a lot with my clients and on this channel and all of my work I do, that we are souls having a human experience, and what we need to navigate is to recognize, yeah, we're all wounded in this lifetime, right? I think it's part of how our soul medicine, it's a term I've coined that speaks to our unique way of delivering our purpose. So that we're wounded, and then immediately we're cultivating the soul medicine that helps us bring our purpose to fruition. But it also helps us have something more to contribute to those we love, especially if you're a wounded healer like me. Hello, can I get an amen or a hello from my wounded healers? Those of you out there who have been wounded tremendously by life, but have taken the time to heal yourself, to cultivate your gifting, your soul medicine, so that you could contribute, and share with others. Now, the key with wounded healers is we have to remember to include ourselves first. Take a sip of our medicine. Take a big spoonful before you're supporting others, okay? Okay, so those are the players. And also, I would say, so Sun is also conjuncting Mars during this full moon, and Ceres. Ceres. And Ceres is an asteroid goddess that is connected. She's like the Earth Mother, connected to the harvest. She was Persephone's mother, right? Talk about mythology. Ceres, though, is not only about nurturing and cultivating. It's, conjunct Mars here, so putting energy focus towards cultivating something. When I feel into Ceres, it's also deeply connected to grief. Remember, Persephone was, whatever mythology you have followed, either kidnapped or willingly went into the underworld and was gone, and her mother was grieving her, missing her. And so then that's why we, now, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but there was grief. Let's stay with grief, because grief fills up for a lot of people. Now, I want to say this. We're ending the year. I love how astrology kind of flows. Like, we just came out of Scorpio season. There was some intensity. There was some shadow work. There were some things that we were like, oh, I really need to deal with this. I can't avoid this anymore. Now we have this sort of, lighter energy in a sense. It's Sagittarius and Gemini, mutable signs. Like, okay, how are we going to change? Fire and air. Gemini is an air sign ruled by Mercury, the great communicator and the, giver of ideas. So this airy, like fresh air, ideas, a time to be creative with the things that you've just moved out of from Scorpio season, those stuck fixed places, to, okay, how can I, generate the energy, the fiery Sagittarius energy to grow something new. First, we need to release. This is, I don't talk about full moon rituals a lot, but I would say a good thing to do is to build a fire. For those of us who can do that outdoors, like we're in the Pacific Northwest, or if you have a fireplace, or you can do a small bonfire, or you can light a candle. But if you can do a bonfire, I would definitely be intentional, like you're lighting, like what do you want to bring your light to, where it's been limited or stuck in fear. I want to get to that in a moment. And what new ideas, what possibilities do you want to open up to? This is a time for creatively shifting perspectives where you're stuck and limited in what you believe, and to open up to the higher possibilities. Okay, so I want to talk about Gemini, because here's the thing, and then I'm going to talk about the shadow sides of both Sag and Gemini. So like I said, Sagittarius and Gemini it's a playful opposition because they're very similar in energy, but they're just focused differently. They have different focuses. Sagittarius is the philosopher, the higher vision holder. Gemini is like the news reporter, wants to get the facts, wants to get the details, wants to make sure, we got it right, That's the higher expression of Gemini. And I'm going to talk about the shadow, because it's really, really important to be aware of the shadow side of both these signs. Shadow, we can be triggered into the shadow side of ourselves or the signs that we're working with, the energy we're working with, when we go into fear. Fear is like, I'm gonna go back into my fear stories and be limited in perspective. So that's important to be aware of. I'm getting a reminder that I didn't cover something I started to talk about, and I'm not sure what that was. Maybe it'll come back. These two players, though, I know, I was talking about the flow of astrology out of Scorpio season into Sagittarius, now full moon and Gemini towards the end of the year. We're getting towards the end of the year where I like to do a year-end review, right? We're starting that right now. Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Gemini is about looking at the stories that you've been living. And what I mean by living, the stories that are in your minds that are actualized by your external living. The stories that are, stories are birthed out of our belief system. Usually, let me back up, my philosophy is this. We create our core beliefs, and the ones we really look at for transformational work are the negative core beliefs. Our beliefs come out of a need met or not met. So those unmet needs of childhood or any time in your life when a need wasn't met, and then unconsciously you chose a belief that wasn't supportive. Needs aren't met, I don't matter. So then unconsciously the story begins to be woven from I don't matter. We start to create a story around that, all the places we don't matter, all the people that don't see us, all that. This is a time, my friends, to really vent out some of those stories. You can do my get your butt out of the way technique, which is I would be doing that but, and then write all the buts that are there. I would be traveling the world, but see all your limitations, get them out. Or look to the bigger story. And the story, if you want to play a higher game, I just caught myself earlier, I was leaving a Marco Polo for someone. I'm like, ooh, you're in your story. Are you in your wounded story or your empowered story? And that's the distinction I make. When we're in our wounded, fear-based self, little self, small s, or in our big self, capital S, as Jung referred to it, with our soul potential. And the difference is you're either in fear or an expanded faith, right? You're either limited or open. And you're either in your wounds, or my distinction I make, or you're in your empowered self. Okay. I feel very empowered today. I'm having one of those days where you just go, oh, lock it in. I do teach my clients, when you're having a good day and you're like, oh, more of this, please anchor that in. Put your hand over your heart and say, yes. And then affirm, I choose to live and have my being from this place, and then speak to it. For me today, I'll demonstrate. I choose to have I live from this place in my heart, where my heart is opened. My curiosity is playful. I'm witnessing myself with joy and delight, knowing that I can make the changes I need to make. So that may be a good affirmation for all of you right now with this full moon, because it's mutable energy, it's changeable. You can joyfully and creatively make the changes you need to make. Sagittarius wants you to be free of the story, free of the limitations, free of the constricted places where you've been forced to play small. And first person to check with is yourself. Are you telling a story that you're coming from victim? You can't even see the possibilities because all you see is your wounds and your limitations. This is what you want to let go in the fire. And so back to that bonfire, or if you light a candle and just write, I want to let go of all these limitations. Okay. I want to let go of the story of, the belief of, okay, and let it go. Okay. Shredders are great for this too. If you don't have the means to burn the paper you're writing out that you don't want to share, shred it. Okay, so I do want to talk a little bit more about Gemini. Gemini is, witty and playful and super curious and flirty. Any Geminis out there? You know how to get your flirt on, don't you? Moon and Geminis. And they want to focus in on the facts. Give me the facts, right? Now, this is the higher evolved Gemini. The shadow side of Gemini I wanted to talk about, because I was feeling into this earlier, to be mindful that Gemini energy can be as much as a higher evolved Gemini likes to find the truth and the facts, a wounded Gemini can be distorting the facts, viewing the world from their wounds. They could also be gossipy, and holding on to facts. And this is also Sagittarius, holding on to facts that fit them, that like make them feel better instead of healing their wound. Like, if I believe this, I feel better. And that can be limiting, right? So, and, also reminder around this time, be mindful who you share information with. The thing about gossip, if someone gossips to you about someone else, you could probably be sure they're going to be gossiping about you to someone else. So that's shadow, right? You really want to vet out the people that you share your stuff with and be mindful. And also, I have a couple of good friends that I trust, and I love Marco Polo. I don't know, do you guys do Marco Polo? I love it because you get to, what Marco Polo provides? It's for external processors like me and my two friends that in particular that I Marco Polo with. We get to just share what's going on, and then we know that it's being heard and caught and confidentially, but ultimately, so you want that, or you want a good therapist or a good soul guide like me. But ultimately your journal is the most trusted source to empty, to be present to yourself. So you might consider that journaling. This is a time for creative expression, creative writing. It's time to do those things you've been wanting to do, like write the song. I'm talking to myself here because I was talking to a friend of mine who's an amazing musician, and I wrote a song with him years ago, my friend Shem. And maybe I'll put some information in the details for him if you want. He has toured with Kenny Loggins, Toto, I don't know, tons of people. He's super talented. He's a composer, and also he's now teaching singing lessons. So, but I was chatting with him around my birthday saying, gosh, I can't believe I never fulfilled the dream of writing more songs. I got to write a song with him. It was such a gift. And he's like, it's not too late. It is not too late. And he said, what did he say? It was brilliant. Like, oh, creativity doesn't know age. I think that's what he said. Or I would say creativity doesn't need to be limited by age. But he sparked my interest back to want to write songs. And I really want to get back to that. So this full moon is calling you, illuminating those old dreams connected to creative expression, writing a story, since there's been a lot of there's been a lot of aspects over this year with Chiron, and because Chiron's in Aries, until, when is Chiron in Aries? Until, I think like 2026. So we've got some time with Chiron. Chiron went into Aries in 2018 and will be there until about 2026. Now, Chiron in Aries is having us all look at our wounds to our identity, where we have felt limited or held back because we are believing an old story, an old belief, either told to us directly or inferred, that limited us. I think I just added 2 EDs to the limited us. That's how potent this Chiron in Aries is. So it has been a time where we're bumping into our wounds. But why do we bump into our wounds? To recognize they're there so that we can heal them and cultivate the gifts from our wounds. So what wounds to your identity? The I am. This is how you catch those. I am. And just, what do you believe about yourself? Write them out. I am this, I am that. And you can expand that. Remember, this is your beliefs matter, not what other people believe. It's what you believe they believe about you. My mom believes, my dad believes, or believed if they're no longer here. My husband believes, my best friend believes about you. So you're really, you're stirring the information so you can see what you are believing. And it is true. It doesn't really matter what others believe. It's what you believe about you that either empowers you or keeps you stuck and wounded. Did you get that? Somebody write that in the comments, please. It is not what others believe about you. It's what you believe about you that is keeping you stuck in your wounds, or they're empowering you for your highest soul potential. Okay? That feels really super important. Okay, I'm at 32 minutes. I think I'm good. Is there anything else? Any questions? Put them in the comments. Also, I want to say this. I've done my last giveaway for the year, I think. I just gave my last winner. Have yet to do her session. I say that, but then, when the holidays of Christmas and Hanukkah and all that come, I may do one more. But I think pretty clear at this moment, this could change because I do enjoy them, but I think I'm only going to do the 20 minutes free consultations through the end of the year, or at least book them through the end of the year. I really want to encourage people, stop playing small with your potential. And this is where people say, oh, I'd really love to work with you, Victoria, but I don't have the money. I don't know if I can do that. And I will say to you, one session with me has the power, not the power, that sounds too, has the potential, especially if you vibe with me. I'm not for everyone, I will admit. And I will certainly, if I'm working with someone and I don't feel like we're flowing, I will refer you to someone else because I want your highest good too. But usually even one session, we can have some breakthrough moments, some awareness. Remember, transformation is all about awareness, and you're worth it. And if you think it's too pricey, I am lower than most people. And my husband's always like, you need to raise your rates. I think in 2024, I'm going to tell people what the value is for my session, which I don't know, it's hard, but I think around 150. I don't charge that much right now. But in 2024, I'm going to let it be known what it's worth. I've been to people who charge a lot more than I do. And, I feel like I give a lot. And So if you can't afford that, then we'll negotiate it. We'll talk about it. So a couple of things. If you're interested in working with me, book sessions or purchase packets of 4 before the new year, because my rates are likely going to increase. And I'm still doing the 20-minute consultations. Okay. And I may be done with giveaways. I might do one in December. They're so fun for me. I love being generous with this because I want everybody to have an opportunity to reconnect to your soul potential, which is why I love to look at a soul chart, and to get some inspiration and enthusiasm. I'm getting this image of like what I help do is, get those coals in your fire, so they're no longer just kind of coals kind of like what's the word? Smoldering. No, we want to ignite them. Ignite your potential. Ignite your soul. Ignite your life. Okay? That's what I wish for you. I wish for you to see who God created you to be, to reclaim your potential, to access your compassion, your curiosity, and your really your own enthusiasm for your own life, so that you can actualize all the potential within you. Okay, thanks for being with me. I'm always honored by anyone who stops by and everyone who comments. I love you. I love you. And even though I'm not doing a giveaway for all your comments, please just comment freely. I love when you tell me what you took away, something I said that really rang true for you. And share a clip of the video, or share the whole video with anybody that you feel would be supported and inspired and ignited by. Okay. All right. Thanks for being with me. I love you all, and take good care of yourself. I'll be back in 2 weeks with the new moon, or a transformational video, and a live at some point next week, because I'm going to keep those going too. All right. Let's do this. Let's ignite our curiosity, our passion, our joy, and create a new individual story that contributes to a higher, amazing, empowered, solution-oriented collective story. Okay, take good care until next time. Bye-bye.